It's a little unusual for me to be pitching a new product launch, and I have no for-profit competitors, and I'm not asking for anybody to send us revenue dollars for using our product. It's a little change for me to be in the .org world instead of the .com world, but I'm very, very excited about what we're doing. We've been working on this project for a long time. 2007, Kim Jones, one of our board members, and I were sitting around talking about we were open sourcing all of our technology at Sun. Why weren't we open sourcing K-12 educational materials? And my boys were spending $130 for a third grade math textbook, which was getting gratuitously revised. And we're literally walking around with suitcases. And I said, it's got to get electronic, it's got to get free, it's got to get open. We created at Curriki the largest library of OER. At that point, it wasn't called Open Education Resources, but we created the largest OER environment library out there. And it was a real advantage to teachers everywhere who wanted access to supplemental materials. And last year, we stepped back and said, that's great, that's wonderful. But we looked at the quality and the capabilities and the purposefulness of the technology or the actual content, the assets out there. And we said, it's not what we could do. I looked at Netflix, and the product there is so bingeable, Game of Thrones. And I admit it, during the lockdown, I did Tiger King. I apologize, everybody. I'll never get those hours back, but it's beautifully produced. I look at Fortnite, and we spend billions on games that are so dopamine addictive and just grab our kids. Why isn't our curriculum, our electronic curriculum, as bingeable and dopamine addictive as those kinds of technologies? Why aren't we spending billions on that? And I started to think about with our team here, and we've got a lot of ex-Sun folks and a lot of people who've been in education for a long time. And we said, you know what? There aren't really great free and open tools. In fact, there isn't any really great free and open source tool, a developer tool, a studio, if you will, to help all of us who are heroically trying to educate our folks anytime, any place, on any device. There just aren't great tools out there to go get this done. So we set about last year, and we didn't know what was going to happen this year, but we said we're going to go out and build the world's greatest open source software free developer environment. And we started working on it, and then all of a sudden the pandemic hit, and all of a sudden the lockdowns hit, and all of a sudden schools closed, and all of a sudden our first responders in educating our kids are stuck with a whole bunch of curriculum that's not meant to be done remote, flipped classroom, on demand, in a no classroom environment. You know, shaky videos are helpful. YouTube videos are helpful, PDFs are helpful, worksheets are helpful, Zoom calls are helpful, but holy mackerel, that's just not using all of the technology that we need and have. So we looked at the landscape, said nobody's doing it, it's got to be free, it's got to be open, because K-12 doesn't have money, and in fact budgets are coming down. Meanwhile, expenses are going up to keep social distancing, doing remote learning, all the rest of it. So it has to be free. We believe open source really matters. And if you look at our experience at Sun, we used open source because we were competing with the biggest players out there, IBM, Microsoft, Intel, all of these huge players. We had to get mankind on our side to go compete against the Goliaths. And that's what we're doing here with this product. Not that we're competing against the Goliaths, but we're competing against a big, big problem, a big challenge, and one that's tragically urgent for everybody. So we're open sourcing, and we're getting everybody in the technical community, in the ed tech world, who wants to donate content, technology, insights, APIs, implementations to our open source project, which is on GitHub and a classic open source environment. It's very similar. If you look at what we did with Java, we had the Java Studio, and what I think was probably the most successful all-time open source project ever. We had the Java Studio to allow you to create Java apps, and then we had the Java virtual machine, which ran on everything, so that wherever your app wanted to run, you could create once and run anywhere. We called it write once, run anywhere. Well, we're stealing from that playbook, only doing it in the .org world. CurrikiStudio, the world's best open source creation environment, with CurrikiGo, which is the bundle of microservices, the effective virtual machine with the ability to export to your favorite LMS. So all a very, very focused kind of environment. Today, this product is, again, purpose-built. It's open. Did I mention free? We're not asking for anything from anybody except feedback. It's got today over 40 activations inside of it where you can light up whatever content you have, whatever video, whatever audio, whatever text or worksheets or any content that you have. We can light it up and make it interactive and make it real time scored, and make it truly a much more active and exciting learning experience for anybody, K through 12 and the trades, whether it's any kind of nonprofit organization, government organization, or even corporate education environments. So it's scalable. If you want it to be a college level, just ask tougher questions, just have more intricate content involved. But the whole learning environment works from 3 years old to 103 years old. So it's a very, very exciting new step for us. Those 40 plus activations are a lot, and you're going to go, wow, how many and which ones do I use? Our plan is to grow that massively and aggressively to 400 to 4,000 activations with donations from corporations and others. We want to add AI and machine learning, AR and VR. We want to build in a whole bunch of really great collaboration tools, push to talk to your teacher, and shared stylus and whiteboards. We want to add in better real-time scoring, a better leaderboard architecture, an expanded assessment architecture. And we want to add in things like, we want to have every kid, from the time they start using CurrikiStudio developed apps, create their own and develop their own achievement portfolio. Think of it as a transcript, online, encrypted, blockchain immutable, and private achievement portfolio, not owned by the school, not owned by the testing organization, not owned by the government, not owned by anybody else but the parent and the student. And then they can share that. And I imagine someday when you go to Stanford, they're going to ask you, can I see your high school diploma? And then they're going to say, can I see your achievement portfolio? I want to see how many application experiences did you consume and achieve a merit level of achievement with that. And the achievement portfolio may be far more important in getting you into Stanford than even your diploma. That might happen someday. The other thing that is part of my fantasy or hallucination, and then I'll turn it over to Abby and the gang to show you where we are today, is I imagine us spending tens of billions of dollars on Curriki applications someday instead of on Tiger King and Fortnite. Not that we won't continue to do that. We'll probably continue to do that in the .com world because shareholders make money doing that. But wouldn't it be great if we had billions of dollars being spent on K-12 games of calculus, games of modern European history, games of whatever. And my hope is somebody like an Elon Musk will donate $20, $30 million to us to go create and develop using really great film producers, like maybe Time Warner Studios, to go create games of electricity sponsored by Tesla. And we'll get some electronic arts software developers to go create some really great dopamine addictive leaderboarding and real-time scoring and gamification. And we get the best science teachers to teach this. And then we get some really powerful spokesmodels, pop culture people that the kids will listen to and want to hear from as MCs and narrators and moderators of the conversation. And then all of this gets dumped into the learning management systems of their school or into their achievement portfolio as they take games of electricity, or maybe Dow Chemical does games of chemistry, or maybe Oracle does games of Java. And imagine that we have all of these games out there available, real-time, flipped classroom, and then everybody can go to school and do what they ought to be doing, and that's doing socially interactive things post-COVID. Athletics, which is, you need other people around to play sports. The visual arts, the performing arts, labs, debate clubs, all of those sorts of things, and even lunch and recess, which are all part of the social experience that we need our kids to have. So that's the goal here. Flip the classroom, get really great content, find lots of people to help generate the energy and investment we need, not only in the development platform and the runtime, but also in actually creating great content. So with that, I'll be quiet, and thank you for all of your time, energy, and focus on it. This is really important. We have heroic teachers trying to do heroic deeds without the tools and without the content we need today. So it's time for all of us mankind needs to attack this problem together in an open and nonprofit kind of manner. So that's what we're here, and that's what we're all about. Thank you.